A study conducted from the Department of Twin Research in Genetic Epidemiology at King's College in London explored the effects of beer, cider, red wine, white wine, and spirits in the gut microbiome. I took this study and mainly focused on the red wine aspect. This study was conducted because experts wanted to research the possible beneficial effects on the metabolic health in the gut microbiome in relation to red wine. Surprisingly, the consequences of red wine consumption compared to other types of alcoholic beverages on the gut microbiome remain poorly explored in epidemiologic studies. This study used female twins from 3 different countries: the UK, US, and Belgium. The use of twins allowed for control over less genetic variation, early life, environmental exposure, and socioeconomic status, which are all important co-founders of both red wine consumption and gut microbiome composition, to allow for less factors to affect the study. When comparing drinkers and non-drinkers of red wine within this study, non-drinkers had a less diverse gut microbiota, but the wine drinkers had more polyphenols, which is referred to as an antioxidant that protects the body's tissue against oxidative stress and associated pathologies such as cancers, coronary heart disease, and inflammation, along with positive association with alpha diversity, which is considered to be a mediator of the association between alcohol consumption and BMI, or blood fasting glucose, along with lower levels of obesity and bad cholesterol and lower risk of heart disease compared to the non-red wine drinkers within this study. Within this study, researchers used twins to allow a less genetic difference between a drinker and a non-drinker to compare down the line, and this is just kind of an example of everything that can affect a study. Even if it's so minute, it can cause a drastic change between abnormal and normal, between different for me or different for you, or different from subject A to B. This study was not conducted based on a disease or health condition, but conducted to explore the difference in the gut microbiome in red wine drinkers compared to non-red wine drinkers. And this slide is an emphasis on the last few slides because there is really no benefit or harm that was identified, but the biggest benefit or takeaway from this study is that the list on this slide, the phenols, the positive association with alpha diversity, the lower levels of obesity, and the lower levels of bad cholesterol, and the lower risk of heart disease, are the benefits of drinking red wine in moderation found in this study. This study was conducted using female twins with a test group that self-documents when they had alcohol, or in this case, red wine, and the control group that does not drink any alcohol. This study, it's different than most with a disease involved, and since this is not a disease, there's not much that would impact or do much else besides seeing what else or focusing on what red wine can do with people in specific diseases and illnesses, such as how could red wine affect somebody who drinks it every day with diabetes versus without diabetes. So my favorite part, and to summarize the big takeaway from this study, is that with moderation, a lot of things that are presumed to be bad for you can actually benefit you in more ways. So when people say that alcohol is very bad for you and just there's so many more benefits than not taking it, with moderation, that can drastically change. And just like Adele's song, I drink wine too.